So just several hours ago, this is my cat Clarence, he's saying hi. Several hours ago, the Iranian military launched some rocket attacks against U.S. Airbase in Iraq. And this is from Common James. Let's see what they say. The Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps of Iran claimed responsibility for a missile attack on a U.S. airbase in Iraq Wednesday morning local time, confirming warnings that President Donald Trump's decision to assassinate General Qassem Soleimani would spark military retaliation and possibly erupt into full-blown regional conflict. Let's see. In a statement following the attack on the Al-Assad airbase, which was reportedly hit by more than a dozen missiles, I think it was reported later as about 6. The Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps said, quote, "The brave soldiers of IRGC's aerospace unit have launched a successful attack with tens of ballistic missiles on Al-Assad military base in the name of martyr General Qassem Soleimani. We will warn all allied countries of the U.S. that if attacks are launched from bases in their countries on Iran, they will be a target of military retaliation," the IRGC said. We will call on all Americans, to recall all their soldiers back home to prevent more damage. They should have been out of there anyways. The Iraqi parliament just voted to expel all of them. The Iraqi government doesn't want us in Iraq. The Iraqi people don't want us there. Get out, yes, get out. And then this is a video from Telesur English. I think it's of the missiles being launched from Iran towards the Al-Assad airbase. Imagine just being in that region right now, all because of what that huge blunder by Trump, trying to more than likely take away attention from impeachment. He ordered the assassination of Soleimani. So yeah, those missiles were launched. The U.S. hasn't done anything at this point. Let's see what happens. I mean, hope for the best. This is Kevin Gotzola on Twitter. Those responsible for ramping up war against Iran: President Trump, obviously Vice President Mike Pence, Secretary of State Mike Pompeo, Secretary of Defense Mark Esper, who is a former head of Boeing or one of the other defense contractors, NSA advisor Robert O'Brien, Brian Hook, Special Representative for Iran. Let's see, in Western Iraq. And then let's go and see what Mr. Trump said about this on Twitter. So all is well. Missiles launched. Sorry, I'm going to move this for a sec. All is well. Missiles launched from Iran at 2 military bases located in Iraq. Assessment of casualties and damage taking place now. So far, so good. We have the most powerful and well-equipped military anywhere in the world by far. I'll be making a statement tomorrow morning. Yes, we spend about, it's like 10 times, or it's like we spend more than the next 10 or so countries combined on our military, and that's one of the reasons we don't have things like universal health care or free college. That was Clarence's tale. All I can say is that I hope Trump shows some restraint, listens to his better judgment, if there is such a thing. Don't listen to the war hawks in your administration like Pompeo, like Pence, like these other generals and pundits who never met a war they didn't like. This would have hugely disastrous consequences for the world. Not just the United States. It'd be bad for us, yes, but all the Iranian people, how their lives would be impacted, all the people that would be dead. in Iran, in Iraq, the whole Middle East would be, thrown into this huge conflict, all for nothing. Iran does not pose any type of threat to the United States. It's already been exposed that Trump and his cronies were lying when they said Soleimani was planning an imminent attack on American interests. That's just a flat out lie. Go check out the Gray Zone reporting that basically showed that I shouldn't say basically, that showed Soleimani was in Iraq on a peace mission trying to de-escalate tensions between Iran and Saudi Arabia, and basically the mediator was Iraq, and the Iraqi prime minister was helping with this. Trump actually asked the Iraqi prime minister to help with this, so it's like, I mean, I guess I was a teenager when the Iraq war started, and I wasn't super politically involved or anything at the time, but I've come to see how important not getting into these wars is, both for the United States and globally. Like, look at the Iraq war, and the if we went to war with Iran, it would be much worse, much worse. The military is substantially stronger. They have a lot bigger population. They would have a lot of allies in the region that would come to their aid in this fight. They could, attack us cyberly. They could attack Saudi Arabian oil. They could shut down the Strait of Hormuz. They could, attack all of our military bases in the region. Like, Iran would be a nightmare for the U.S. to face in a war, not, on so many levels, and obviously it's completely unnecessary. I got off topic a little bit, but what I was saying about the Iraq war, at least 500,000 Iraqi civilians were killed. I think it's over like $5 trillion. The Iraq war has cost us, I think it's like 5,000 American soldiers, trillions of dollars, and it was based on a lie. This war would be based on a lie. It would also waste billions, if not trillions of dollars. U.S. lives would be lost, and even more lives would be lost over there in the Middle East, and for nothing. There's no reason to go to war or start any type of escalation or conflict with Iran. We need to take all the sanctions off of them. I doubt Trump will do that, but hopefully Bernie gets elected, takes all the sanctions off them, renegotiates the Iran nuclear deal, and let's look for some ways to, aid them humanitarian in a humanitarian fashion, as I should say. If they need any type of help like that, look for ways to partner with them and make peace, not war. The world has had way too much war already. We don't need to be starting one, and this would obviously, bring probably Russia and China in on the Iranian side, further complicating things. So it really could be a huge, like global conflict if Trump keeps escalating things. And I saw something on Twitter from somebody tweeting about Iranian TV, basically saying that if the U.S. doesn't retaliate, then there won't be any more retaliations from Iran. And how they retaliated, they didn't go after civilians. They attacked a military target, and this was a defensive move by Iran. The Trump administration assassinated their top general, the leader of the Iranian Revolutionary Guard Corps, the Quds Force in particular, and he was beloved and still is beloved in the country. Just look at the funeral procession from Soleimani and the millions of people that came out to mourn his death. And he was, one of the reasons is he was instrumental in helping defeat ISIS in the region. I mean, that's a pretty big fucking deal. Like, he helped defeat ISIS. Why would the Iranian people not be supremely, just pissed off and angry and sad and upset for what the United States did? I mean, any country would. Think about this, as as a U.S. citizen, if you are, and even if you're not, just go along with this thought experiment for a second. If you're a U.S. citizen, a comparable example would be is if, well, I mean, it doesn't even matter. It's just ridiculous. We need to get out of the Middle East. Trump, you don't need to retaliate. Listen to your better judgment. Like when you're on the campaign trail, you're talking about getting us out of these endless wars, not starting any more of them. Go back to that. Listen to that more sane and rational version of yourself. Don't listen to the hawkish, self-preserving nature that you usually embody. And you probably started this to not to take away attention from impeachment, I should say. But you can still do what's right here. Don't retaliate. It was a defensive move by Iran, and they're fully justified in doing so. And I think some Iraqis were killed in the strike, which is, not good and horrible on its own. I don't believe any American troops were killed, to my knowledge. That could have changed, but that's what I heard. I mean, it's sad to say, but that probably could impact Trump's decision making. I think he would have been a lot more likely to potentially retaliate in a very aggressive way if U.S. troops were killed in these missile strikes. I don't think any were. Obviously, it's still really, messed up and sad and tragic that those Iranian soldiers were killed, but honestly, their blood is on Trump's hand. If Trump hadn't assassinated Soleimani in Baghdad last week, then Iran wouldn't be retaliating with these missile strikes against, U.S. air bases in Iraq right now. So very tense and trying times in the world and the U.S. and the Middle East right now. Let's all just take a deep breath and say it with me. No war with Iran. No war with Iran. Peace. Peace. Peace in the Middle East.